All right, this is a CBS News special report. You've been listening to WWL, our station in New Orleans. I'm Michael George in New York. We are continuing our coverage of a mass casualty incident overnight in New Orleans. At least 10 people were killed when a truck drove into a crowd of New Year's Eve revelers in the city's world-famous French Quarter. And the incident began around 3:15 a.m. Central Time. Here's what we know from police. A man driving a pickup truck drove through barricades at a high rate of speed, hitting multiple people. At least 35 people were transported to hospitals with injuries. And this appears to be an intentional act because police say the suspect got out of his vehicle and shot 2 officers. They were hit and are now in stable condition. The hospitals with injuries. And this appears to be an intentional act because police say the suspect got out of his vehicle and shot 2 officers. They were hit and are now in stable condition. Also, possible explosives were also found nearby. It's unclear right now if they're related to the attack. And the FBI will be taking over the investigation. And here's what the assistant special agent in charge had to say.
This is not a terrorist event. What it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found, and we are working on confirming if it's a viable device or not. What it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found, and we are working on confirming if it's a viable device or not.
You've just heard video of a news briefing earlier from New Orleans where, again, at least 10 people were killed when a truck drove into a crowd in the early morning hours. Katie Weiss arrived at the scene a short time after this incident happened. Katie, what are witnesses telling you right now?
Well, good morning. It's just been a chaotic morning, to say the least. A lot of really scared people. That's plain and simple to put it in those terms for you. Here in the iconic French Quarter of New Orleans, you know, this is an area, Bourbon Street is the place for a joyous, you know, party on New Year's Eve. This is a place where people are walking around. The streets are closed to cars. This is a place where people are and simple to put it in those terms for you. Here in the iconic French Quarter of New Orleans, you know, this is an area, Bourbon Street is the place for a joyous, you know, party on New Year's Eve.
Our top story tonight, a gruesome discovery inside a local courthouse, a judge dead by his own hand. WSTV's Sarah Smith out. Our top story tonight, a gruesome discovery inside a local courthouse, a judge dead by his own hand. WSTV's Sarah Smith outside the Effingham County Courthouse where it all happened. She's got the latest details. Sarah?
Well, Andrew, he practiced law here in this area for over 45 years, and now Judge Stephen Yeckel, according to investigators, was found dead inside the Effingham County Courthouse this morning. Now, investigators say Judge Stephen Yeckel was alone at the time when it appears he shot himself in the courtroom. It either happened last night or earlier this morning, and one of the deputies did. Yeckel was alone at the time when it appears he shot himself in the courtroom. It either happened last night or earlier this morning, and one of the deputies did actually find him this morning at around 10 o'clock. Now, the sheriff says it isn't clear exactly what prompted Yeckel to take his own life, but they did discover a message that was left for Governor Brian Kemp. That note isn't being released to the public at this time, but we did confirm that Yeckel requested to resign from his position as state court judge earlier this month, but Governor Kemp denied that request. Yeckel lost his re-election to Melissa Calhoun earlier this year after 2 years on the bench. His last day in office was set to be today. Sheriff McDuffie sharing his condolences for Yeckel's family. This year, after 2 years on the bench, his last day in office was set to be today. Sheriff McDuffie sharing his condolences for Yeckel's family.
You know, this is never good for anybody. Family's distraught. I mean, it's supposed to be a happy time this time of year, and now they've got this. And I think he's got some sons that are law enforcement too, so they know what it's like. But I can't imagine if they have anything that they need from us, we'll be available and make ourselves available to them going forward. So.
Shalom to the elect of Yasharala. All praises and glory goes to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations to the elect men feeding the sheep of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai, and sincerity and truth through this great gospel coming out of our Bible. And destruction to you wicked, right? Destruction and judgment to you wicked men of this society, still following after the customs of the heathen, you clown-ass people of this society. Right, here we are in the times where knowledge has increased, where you could look up information and you could, first off, we dead in the middle of a motherfucking winter. Ain't nothing new about nothing right now, right? It's the same weather it was a few weeks ago. And it's about to get colder. It's about to get colder. Right, here we are in winter. Right, they talking about happy new year, right? These people done lost their minds in this society, right? It tells you another one of Satan's tactics is the celebration of New Year's, right? What are you celebrating? You are actually celebrating the Roman god Janus for January, right? The god who has two faces, right? The god who has two faces, a fake false deity has been set up by who your enemy, right? And honestly, it goes before your enemies, right? A lot of these pagan ass customs, man, that's all Esau picked up from other nations, right? Happy New Year's, all this Christmas, right? Where they get Easter from, the Passover, that's from the Israelites, right? A lot of their things they set up in this society, they got it from all the other nations, right? I'm gonna read here, it says, in Roman mythology, Janus was the god of beginnings, right? That's why they call it the New Year. Endings, right? The end of the year. Transitions and doorways. Ain't no motherfucking transition. It's still cold outside. Right? People are still doing the same thing you did a few months ago, a few years ago, right? Nothing changing, right? It's supposed to be a spirit that a false deity brings to the people of this society. That's why they celebrate and getting hit by motherfucking cars when you're supposed to be at home with your family 3 a.m. in the morning. Where you at? You out in the streets acting a fool. Let's get this verse right quick. This Amos 3 verse 6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and people not be afraid, right? All hell about to break loose here in Babylon the Great. Right? You just had they did that the same thing over in, what was that, Europe? Motherfucker done plowed their cars through some kind of celebration. Right? All over the earth is judgment on your stupid, retarded holidays. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city? Right? And the people not be afraid. Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? That was Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai who put a spirit in that man to plow through that crowd and then hop out and get the dumping on the police. Right? And there's going to be more of these spirits, right? Ezekiel 21:9, it says, son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth, right? It contendeth the rod of my son as every tree, right? It said, shall it may glitter. Should we then make mirth, right? Should we be in the festival spirit, the dumbass, retarded, fake ass New Year's spirit, the bullshit pagan Christmas spirit, right? You about to be in a motherfucking worshiping your whole spirit with Valentine's, right? All these different false, fake horror days, right? Because ain't nothing good coming out of them, boy. You just seen the judge. He had to clap himself. And that's a beautiful way to bring in a false new year with judgment on a judge. He had judgment on a judge. The Lord clapped that motherfucker, man, and made him clap his own self, right? It says, son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contendeth the rod of my son as every tree, right? It is furbished, and he have given it to be furbished that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give into the hand of the slayer, right? It's about to go down. Right? Pretty soon, what's about to happen? Esau about to get the green light. The 2/3 about to get the green light. Wicked men of this society about to turn up due to what? A lack of bread, a lack of what? Shelter, a lack of safety. You seen how many people done went homeless? right? To bring in what that new year spirit, right? The new year of brokenness, right? A new year of struggles. A new year of not being able to pay your motherfucking bills, right? A new year of your woman about to cheat on you. Your kids about to flip on you, right? Happy, fake ass New Year's, right? Let's go back to this false pagan bullshit. It says, in Roman mythology, Janus was the god of beginnings, endings, transitions, and doorways. It says symbolism. Janus is often depicted with two faces and facing the past and one facing the future, right? That's why they always make a New Year's resolution. Big fat 500-pound black ass bitch talking about, oh, I'm about to lose all this weight this year. And then what happened? Nothing happened, goddammit. Nothing happened. She done got bigger, right? And they only be on that New Year's resolution for a month, for a week or two. Honestly, shit, for a day or two, right? These people don't give a damn about changing, right? They love how they are, right? That's why they're increasing in wickedness. They're not decreasing. It says Janus is often depicted with two faces, right? A bunch of two-faced ass people in this society, right? You can't trust them. They'll stab you in your back, right? They'll lie on you. You can't trust them with conversation. You can't trust them with money. You can't trust them with a goddamn thing. They're useless, right? It says Janus is often depicted with two faces, one facing the past and one facing the future, allowing him to see simultaneously inside and outside and some bullshit and forward and backwards. He is also known for holding a key in the right hand, which symbolizes his protection of doors, gates, and other openings, right? This is the bullshit that these people was believing in the past, right? Janus is associated with many dualities, right? Including life, death, beginning, end, youth, adulthood, rural, urban, war, peace, right? Barbarism, civilization. The month of January is named after Janus because it begins the year, So look at Jeremiah 10 verse 2. It reads, thus saith our power Yahweh. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. There's only one God. Ain't no fucking Janus. Ain't no Thor. Ain't no whatever the motherfuckers is called, man. The gods of Olympus, right? Osiris, Ovirus, Omiris. Right, all this madness, man. All these deities from what nations that what are done, right? The children of Israel ain't nowhere done, right? We're actually coming back into our strength and bringing what the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai back on the earth. But these false deities, man, don't nobody remember no Janus. Yeah, don't nobody remember no Janus. Ain't no motherfucker praying to no god of Thor, some Thor god, some bullshit, right? These false deities of the past, man. The only one that's holding a stronghold on these people is that fake ass Jesus Christos. Yeah, that Jesus Christ, right? That motherfucker got a stronghold on these people. That's why you got to come out of her, my people, and be not partakers of her sins. And one of her sins is what? Worshiping these false deities. I'm reading, says Jeremiah 10 and 2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them, right? And the heathens worship false idols, and the heathens' idols cannot profit you whatsoever, especially in the time of what? Tribulation, in the time of what? Visitation, right? When the Lord come, the true power of the earth come to get you for worshiping some BS, what you gonna do? Who you gonna call on? You gonna call on Janus, right? You gonna call on Janus, right? This is the book of Romans 13 and 11. And it says, in that knowing the time, that now is what? High time to awake out of sleep, for what? Now is our salvation nearer than we believe. Salvation for who? The children of Israel. No, not the Israelites. Not those people, right? Not those people. The people who went into captivity. The people who got taken over and brought down by who Esau, Edom during what? The colonizations of the Americas. Right? The people who got dispersed amongst all people, who's that? The children of Israel. It says, I'm reading it again. And that now, knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than what we believe. How we know that? Because the signs, right? The things that are happening, right? Ecclesiasticus 40:9, it says death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge, right? These are the things happening on earth. I'm reading it again, Ecclesiasticus 40:9, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge, right? The Lord is bringing what? The ruckus to all these motherfuckers, right? Verse 9. Again, death and bloodshed, strife, sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, the scourge. These things are created for who? For the wicked. For the wicked. Yeah, them 10 motherfuckers who got killed in New Orleans. That driver was created for their ass. To get them, right? That 9/11, that fake ass shit. It was set up to get all them people who dropped, right? All these wars, you done seen people dying. It was set up for you to get your judgment, right? That's why it says pray always that you be worthy to escape these things, right? These things is about to turn up, right? These things are what thing? These things, we just read it. Let's read these things. What are these things? These things, right? As a spirit. It says death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sake came with the flood, right? Came the flood, and this time the Lord ain't coming with no water. He coming with that fire, right? The Lord's coming with that fire. That's the end game. And what else? He's coming to save the children of Israel. We're going to get new bodies. We're going to be what? Regenerated, right? Revived. We're gonna be preserved from that destruction, because ain't no way you could be down here on earth once you see when all these missiles get unleashed, these chariots are shooting fire on people, right? That's why it says enter into thy chambers. Matter of fact, let me get that verse. It's the book of Isaiah 26:20. It says, come, my people, who the children of Israel, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy door about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until what? The indignation be overpassed. Until the indignation be overpassed, right? Because there's no way that you're gonna be able to survive what's coming to America, what's coming to the land of Israel and these other places that the Lord is going to release what? Thermonuclear destruction on, right? That's their end game. I'm reading it again. It says, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until with the indignation be overpassed. This is the book of Isaiah 34:1. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it, right? It says, for the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to what? To the slaughter. To the slaughter. Right, there's going to be a lot of dead motherfuckers on the face of the earth, especially these military men, these political men, these men stuck in this system, stuck on their idols, right? Right? Stuck in the past, right? Because Janus, one head looking backward and one head looking forward. That's the spirit of Babylon the Great. They still looking bad. It says the shadow of Egypt, right? They miss the good times, right? They miss the happy days. But guess what? Them days are over. We in the time of what? Judgment. Shalom.